Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is InsideAgameR. Welcome back to You Are the Judge, episode number 2. You guys seem to enjoy the first episode, so we'll do a little bit more. It was a bit quirky that we messed up both of the assignments, so hopefully today will go better. So social media. Now we can actually post things here, look. Every case requires the same level of seriousness. We must take a serious approach in various cases for the peace of our people. I'm going to tweet that, you know, and people might start following me and you know, all that kind of good stuff. Not sure if it really matters. To file a lawsuit against social media posts, the ID. Okay, we don't need to do any of that stuff yet, which I find could be very interesting. Okay, so the next case, we've been asked by the government to basically back the government. I don't know what the case is quite about yet. We do have some emails. Okay, nothing, just the prison rights. Okay, so we need to go meet the attorney then. Let's go find out in the pre-trial. Okay, welcome to another day of court. Okay, let's find out what's going on. So the plaintiff's attorney, let's find out. Okay, Ethan Johnson. My client is serving a sentence at Kobardde prison for the crime he committed. Okay, that makes sense. However, in recent days, an action has been taken, such as sentencing my client to solitary confinement despite his not exhibiting any negative behavior. The prison administration has abused its authority. During the process, my client has experienced psychological and physical distress. We are filing a complaint against the prison administration for this reason. Okay, let's see what the defendant has to say. Okay, my client, the prison administration, would like to remind that the conditions that criminals must adhere to are stipulated by the law. The regulations prescribe punishment to prisoners who do not adhere to these conditions. Albert Neuron was found to have skipped a meal during the cafeteria hours and initiated a hunger strike, which led to his sentencing to solitary confinement. Starting a strike is prohibited according to the prison regulations, and punishment is solitary confinement. There is no basis for the unfounded claims of the plaintiff. Right, okay. Defendant, Your Honor, the witness Laura Martinez has a close relationship with the prison warden. Therefore, it's not possible for her to respond impartially. We request that you reject her testimony as a witness. So if I accept it, it means I'm rejecting. Rejecting means I'm rejecting what she's asking. If you mark the reject button, you'll not accept. Okay, yeah. We're going to accept that. I mean, anyone that's not impartial is no good to me in the justice system. Order in the court. What have I got? Relationship with the family will increase by 5 points. Okay, that's good. The wife will be happy. Okay, Judge Richard, the lawsuit begins. Alrighty, so look, let's have a look at the law first. So prisoners may file a lawsuit in court against penalties imposed by them in the prison administration. The court assesses the legality of the proportion of the penalty. It may annul or rectify its penalty if just or necessary. The right of prisoners to appeal the rights. Okay, doesn't really tell me what I need to do though. Okay, so the plaintiff is indifferent. General behavior is anxious. I think he's lying then already, and he's looking pretty sloppy. Respectful, but she's anxious too. Okay, they're both a bit anxious. Pre-trial, we've already gone through what they want, and that's fine. Let's have a look at the case file then. What have we got? Okay, so prisoner Albert, although he did not exhibit any negative behavior during his time in prison, claimed that he was sentenced to solitary confinement and suffered psychological harm as a result, and therefore has filed a lawsuit against the prison administration. He alleged that he is subjected to inhumane treatment and the prison administration unlawfully implemented its duties and responsibilities. The prison administration, on the other hand, stated that the prison was sentenced to solitary confinement because he did not comply with the necessary instructions and conditions. Makes sense. We do have a few witnesses. Okay. So the evidence is the inmate status information. It provides information about the prison's conditions. Conditions of solitary confinement. Okay, that's fine. We'll have a look at that stuff now. It has been determined that the prisoner has not eaten for 3 days, so it looks like he did go on a hunger strike. It has been determined that the prisoner has initiated a hunger strike by refusing to eat. Despite the necessary warnings by prison staff, he continued to strike. It has been decided to examine the prisoner in the infirmary due to potential health issues that he may experience. Okay, inmate cannot pose a security threat, cannot attempt to escape, cannot engage in violent behavior, they cannot initiate a hunger strike. Okay, so technically, this is a part of the conditions of solitary confinement, so it's not looking good for him. Right, let's talk to the plaintiff then. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, what were your behaviors before being sentenced to solitary confinement? I did not exhibit any negative behavior in prison. I followed all the rules. Did you experience any illegal intervention during the solitary confinement? Certainly. However, since the witness presented to the court are from the prison administration, they will not mention it. I mean, he kind of has a point there too, maybe. Did you intention rights? Okay, I never such an intention. I'm only defending my rights because I believe I did not deserve solitary confinement. He hasn't really given me anything to go on, though. He hasn't really got any evidence, has he? This is the problem here. Let's go to the defendant then, see what they got to say. Why did prisoner not eat during the cafeteria hours and start a hunger strike? Prisoner exhibited behaviour contrary to the prison disciplinary and initiated a hunger strike, perhaps in somewhat an amusing way. He aimed to establish a power balance over the prison administration, but you'll agree that this is not possible. The regulation applied to the prisoner in compliance with the law, or was it not in accordance with the law? Okay, it was entirely in compliance, sir. As you know, there are certain provisions under Article 13 for such situations, which we already read, which were 6 laws. The prison administration has used its authority within its framework and regulations to maintain order. Okay, how is the situation of the prisoners sentenced to solitary confinement evaluated? Situation prisoners sentenced to solitary confinement is evaluated based on their non-compliance with the prison regulations, and the appropriate punishment is applied. Right, let's talk to Gregory. Who's Gregory? He's the cleaner. Can you provide information about the behaviour of the prison sentenced to solitary confinement? The prisoner lifted the tray, placed it in front of him, and threw it on the floor, sir. Afterwards, he started yelling, "Hunger strike, revolt, don't be heard, hunger strike." Okay. What was the psychological condition of the prisoner before the sentence to solitary confinement? There was no noticeable and unusual change in his mood before. However, I can say he exhibited more tense behaviour after the solitary confinement. Perhaps he succumbed to a desire for revenge, which is probably what we're doing now. Okay, earlier you mentioned the prison's behaviour inciting a revolt. What was the behaviour supported by the other prisons, or was it planned protest as a group? Nope. Your Honour, it was just watched and astonished by everyone. Some were indifferent and some just laughed. There is no evidence that this was a plan with others. In my opinion, it was a spontaneously developed outburst of personal anger. Man, this cleaner's got a lot to say, hasn't he? Okay, who's Terry? He's a manager. Manager of what? What do you know about the situation of the prison sentence to solitary confinement? Prison behaviour is evaluated according to the prison regulations and act upon accordance with the law, sir. Okay, I'm assuming he manages the prison. There is no evidence of such a thing. To maintain order, the regulations stipulated by the law were followed. Okay, what are your thoughts on the prisoner's allegations? Your Honour, prisoners sometimes exhibit such behaviour to escape from the environment. Since I'm not fully informed about the events of the current case, it would be unethical for me to make a definite statement. Right. Is this everything I've got? I mean, so this should be pretty simple in my eyes. I think you got to back the prison, even though I was asked to by the mayor. Has to be right. Now I've got to make sure I get this right. So he is suing them. So I can't find them, put them in prison. So they have to be found innocent. The defendant was not guilty. He isn't the defendant. He is the aggressor, right? Make sure I get this the right way around. So I'm assuming innocent. Yeah, okay, I got that the right way around. Finally. Okay, the public is demanding an increase in penalties for crimes such as murder and theft. Yeah, I think we should take that into consideration. We want the public backing, you see. Okay, Christopher Coit versus Nosebart, our land case. Okay. Alrighty. Someone's calling us. Hello, Mayor. Hello, Your Honour. I hope I'm not disturbing you. I have limited time, but I can spare some for you. I know how precious your time is, Your Honour. I have a case to be heard shortly. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I'm calling you specifically about the matter. What do you mean? In today's case, I believe our incapacity is in the right, and I assume that you've also realised this. Your decision will be in favour of that, won't it? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to sit on the middle of the fence here. The purpose of the courtroom is to listen to the people and make the right decisions. Not meaning that I'm actually going to make the right decisions, because I haven't done that so far. Social media. Oh, look, I got some more followers. My friends and I gathered from homework, but none of us want to do the assignment. Okay, who's saying what about me? We just like some of these. Actually, a nice profession. I don't get too tired. Do judges know the entire Constitution by heart? Of course. I don't know, does that actually help me in any ways? Right. We'll go with that. I don't think there's anything new for us to post. Still too early? Okay, I support the new judicial reform package. I'm going to put that down. I don't know where that's going to land me or if it will land me in trouble or not, but we'll find out. Okay, the land case. I prepared the documents in the upcoming case, left them on the table in your courtroom. Okay, additionally, the case was brought to the issue of social media legislation back into the spotlight. Lastly, we can say that this was your first high-profile case. All eyes were truly on you. Alright, they didn't really have much to say to me, does she? Okay, so we're going to go to the pre-trial. Okay, the public quite pleased with support from judicature for demands of increased penalties for various crimes. Okay, so the public loyalty to me is pretty good. Let's find out what's going on here. My client came across several high-valued historical artifacts while excavating for agricultural purposes on his land and immediately reported the situation to the authorities. However, as soon as the authorities arrived, they cordoned off a large area and prohibited access. They then informed us that the municipality would acquire a substantial portion of the land and provide an offer regarding the price. However, the price they communicated and pressured us to sell is what is well below the actual value of the land. Therefore, we're requesting the payment of the true value of the land to us. Right, okay, let's see what they've got to say. So that's why the mayor wants me to be in favour, because they don't want to spend more money. What a surprise. My client promptly arrived at the scene upon receiving a call and following the examination by expert personnel, determined that there were even more historical artifacts beneath the ground in this area. A decision for immediate expropriation was made for this land, and an appropriate price for the land was determined by delivering to the rightful owner. According to the law, it is mandatory to sell the price determined by the municipality. We request the dismissal of the plaintiff's demands. Right. Your Honour, when my client, an honest citizen, discovered historical artifacts, he promptly reported them to the authorities. However, he was acted in bad faith. My client's sole source of income is agricultural land. We earnestly request that you take this into our consideration. Okay, let's take a judge card. Yeah, the public like me. Even more. Order in court. Right, I think the first thing I need to do is read the law. Property owners or affected property, parties may file a lawsuit in court against the exploration decision made by the municipality. The court evaluates whether the expropriational decision is lawful or whether the expropriation is necessary for the public interest. If it's determined that the expropriation is not in compliance with the laws, there is no public interest requirement. Okay, so doesn't really give me too much to go on here. What have we got? The court behaviour of the plaintiff is excited, he's neat, he's indifferent, he's sloppy. The defendants, I want to screw them, but then I'm going to pee off the governor, aren't I? Let's have a look at the case file then. So we know what the case is about. There are some witnesses available. Okay, artifacts contains information about the objects found on the plot. City council decision contains the decision and the land value report. Okay, so we got some. I'm not sure what ST means. Gold, stone, and gold. Okay, so look, there were some things here that are quite expensive. The decision has been made to expropriate 76% of the land allocated in parcel 17 to 48 based on the value of $500,000 due to the presence of remains of historical heritage on the land. So the councillor, the mayor, and the councillor. Okay, so these guys decided that that's what they were paying. The assessment conducted by our organisation of parcel 17 to 48 indicates that the actual value of the land is determined to be 1.1 million. Oh, wow. The determination of its value is based on considerations such as soil type, total area, location. Additionally, 3 land parcels serving as reference reflecting these values were taken into account. Right, okay. Let's take the plaintiff first. Let's see what he's got to say. How do you determine the true value of the land? Okay, Your Honour, we consulted with the expert on the matter. After conducting the necessary assessment, the expert stated that the value is at 1.1 million. What was the price proposed by the municipality for the land? 500,000, Your Honour, which is less than half its value. What criteria did you consider for the land's true value? We considered factors such as the sale price, similar plots, regional appraisals, and expert opinions. I mean, how can you go against this guy? Alright, let's see what the government have to say. How was the exploration decision made for the land? Our experts evaluate the significance of the historical artifacts in the excavation area. We made a decision on that proportion. Is the price offered to landowner in accordance with the law? Yes. The price offered to the landowner has been assessed in compliance with the law. Right. What are the consequences if the landowner refuses to sell the land? We will follow the legal process to resort in the courts if necessary. Our aim is to proceed with a purchase that is in the public interest. I want to read that law again. Okay, okay, yeah. Doesn't really give me too much. Okay, who's this witness? Archaeologist. What's the significance of the historical artifacts found in the excavation area? Okay, the artifacts found in the excavation area reflect the cultural and historical value of the region. What kind of discussions did you have when contacting the landowner? We had discussions with the landowner explaining the importance of the historical artifacts and the expropriation process. Okay, what type of information was provided to the landowner? Information was provided that the process would be carried out legally and the rights of the landowner would be protected. Okay, again, not too much going on there. Clementine Prescott, how did the expropriation process unfold? Proceed in accordance with the legal procedures concerning the significance of the historical artifacts and the rights of the landowner. How was the value of the land determined? The value of the land was determined through appraisal work conducted by experts and regional assessments. But then why don't they match up? I mean, this is a servant, so of course. It's a fair price offer in the public interest was presented to the landowner. I want to back the guy, if I'm honest, because, you know, I see it happening here. If they want to expand roads in this country, the farmers have to sell the land at whatever the value is, and that's it. I get it. Okay, what steps are taken if the landowner refuses to sell the land? This is a specialist. Legal proceedings are initiated, and the exploration process continues in accordance with the legal procedures. How were the landowner's rights protected during this process? The landowner's rights are legal protections are upheld throughout the process, the regular information provided at each step. Why was the price offered to the landowner considered inadequate? Price offered to landowner is considered inaccurate in accordance to the actual value of the land. It is believed that more detailed assessments could be conducted during the court process. I mean, I examined all these files. Right, okay. I don't have anything else here, really, but make a decision. Okay, the sides of witnesses were heard in the court and the evidence presented was examined. Oh. Surely I want to cancel it then. Is that what I want to do? I feel like he should get a bit more money. Screw the government. I didn't get a penalty. Okay, so I made the right decision. Okay, Supreme Court is considering a new judge appointments. What are your thoughts on this? Well, working overtime a lot, it could be beneficial. Okay. So we do have a new case, the assault case. Okay, no phone's gonna ring. Alright, let's go to the emails then. Let's find out what was being said. A user posted an unfavorable post about you on social media. Lastly, we can say that today's decision has somewhat been overshadowed by the tension of yesterday. The effects of yesterday are still lingering in the public eye. You have an envelope delivered to the courthouse on your behalf. Anyway, whatever. I prepared the documents for the next one. Okay, well, let's find out what this social media post is. Don't think the punishment for some crimes should be increased. What do you need to do to file a petition in court? Well, where is this? I'm not sure where I'm seeing this. Um, Well, I don't see what someone said about me. Don't you think punishment? I would have liked to have a girlfriend. I don't see anything here that's actually bad, but apparently there was. I'm not sure. Envelope. Dear Judge, I would like to introduce myself to you. I'm a wealthy businessman in the country who uses money for the good of the country. I'm highly respected by important figures in the country. Unfortunately, my son is unjustly accused of the case that will take place today. I have full confidence that you will take special care with this case and make the right decisions and declare my son innocent. I am not one to be brought. Or am I? I kind of want to find out what happens if I do and then screw him if he is. But then I might get killed. My family could get hurt. Being a judge is hard work. I am going to decline his gift. I cannot be brought. How do I get rid of that? There we go. Let's go to the pre-trial then. Okay, back in court. Let's find out what the attorney has to say here then. Okay, my client wanted to cross the street last Monday because the green light was on. However, despite the red light being on for vehicles at the time, a car hit her, therefore she is complaining against the car owner. Makes sense. My client acknowledges that the car in question belonged to him, however he denies driving the car that day. He mentioned that he took off his jacket at a party he attended and the car keys were in the jacket pocket. When he wanted to leave the party, he couldn't find the jacket or his car. He stated that he thought one of his close friends had taken the car, so he went home. Oh, wow, that doesn't make anything easy here. Okay, Your Honor, there exists a past relationship between the witness Eva Green, who had been summoned to court, and my client that ended in a bitter separation. Therefore, her responses will undoubtedly be biased. We request that you reject the testimony as a witness. The defendant, Chris Smith's father, is quite wealthy and a malicious person. Therefore, we believe he may attempt to influence the course of the court. We wanted to inform you about this matter. Okay, I'm going to accept that. Like I said, I don't like people that could be biased. Well, actually, you know what? Let's hear what she's got to say. Let's find out what kind of person this is. Okay, the Supreme Court's not going to like me much. Order in court. Right. Court behaved respectful, calm, neat, anxious, neat. Okay. Nothing too exciting. We've got our pre-trial here. We already know about that because we've already done it. Okay, let's have a look at the case file before we go too much further. There's not much here. Last week, Monday, around 11:30 PM, a pedestrian possession is not in danger of death, but will need to use a wheelchair for a long time. Rachel Brown is complaining against the owner of the car for the reason, but the car owner claims that he did not drive the car that day. Well, how's he going to prove that? That's going to be the hardest thing here. Okay. It is what it is. Shall we see what the video shows first? Right, I don't see any... Was that his face? See, it's really hard to tell. What was the last thing you remember at the time of the incident? Let's find out. It was in the evening. I wanted to cross the street, but then I heard a screeching sound. After that, there's nothing else. I vaguely remember the car, but I'm not sure. Isn't she supposed to be in a wheelchair? She was in hospital. Okay. Makes sense. Did you have a chance to see the person driving the car? No. As I said, I only heard a painful screeching sound. It's a bad memory. I mean, the guy on his camera doesn't look like him. That's a... Did he have colored skin? Because he doesn't. Let's go to the defendant then. Let's see what he's got to say for himself. How can you tell us what happened the day of the incident? I attended a party hosted by my close friends. The car keys were in my jacket pocket. When I got too hot inside, I took off my jacket, placed on the seat. I had been drinking, so I called the driver to drive my car. But then why would you run away? What did you do when your designated driver arrived? I told him that my car was and asked him to find my jacket. But later he came back to me and said that my jacket was nowhere to be found and my car was not here. I had told him. What did you do when you couldn't find the car keys? The party I attended was with my close friends, so I thought one of them might have taken it, so I asked my driver to call a taxi for me. Then I took a taxi home. I didn't do anything different on the day of the incident. Okay, well then if you took a taxi home, they'd have records of all this stuff. Wow, you're really not giving me very much to work on here. Remote vehicle driver collides with possession by violent traffic rules. The result of this collision, possession is injured or loses their life. Capable driver should be deemed to have committed the offence of injury or death resulting in a traffic accident. If any defendant causing injury to a possession, they must be sent to prison range from 2 to 6 years, fined up to 200,000, taking into account the severity of the injury. If the accident results from the discrimination based on factors such as religion, language, or race, penalty should be further increased. Well, we don't have that problem. Okay, let's end the listening there. Go to the witness. Can you describe what you saw on the day of the incident? I was having a good time at the party, but I haven't been drinking for a long time, so I didn't drink at the party either. Some of my friends who came to the party with me left early, so I was sitting alone. At one point I saw Chris take his jacket and move to a different room. Did you see Chris when he was getting into the car? I saw Chris leave the house, but a few minutes later, around 11:10, when I went outside for some fresh air, I couldn't see Chris or his car. Is that biased? How am I supposed to make a decision on that? There's really nothing there, is there? And I got blonde hair. No, he is white. Yeah, this could be him. Oh, okay, let's go to the decision then. Let's find out. Okay, it looks like he needs to go to prison. So it was between 2 and 6 years, depending on... So we could put him in for, say, like 2 years. He doesn't have a criminal record. So yeah, I think we could give him the lower end. But he ran away, and was he drunk? See, this is the problem. I should be able to give him more than one thing, I think. I give him 3 years, I think. Okay, so looks like we made the right decision. Your child is expressing the happiness in the public school and wants to switch to a private school. What are your thoughts on this? Okay, we'll try and get him that, but I might run out of money. Okay, we do have a new murder case going on. There's quite a lot of cases, actually. And then there is Season 2 is done. And then Season 3 is to be announced. So that's pretty cool. We've got plenty to go on here. Okay, let's have a look at this murder case. We'll just start the day just to see what things have happened to me. Warning, we are hoping to make an agreement with you. This action you're taking will cost you dearly. It was a relatively high-profile case, well-known figure. People must have been interested in your celebrity aspect of the situation. From an institution perspective, it was a relatively small case, and we can't say that all eyes are on you, at least not for this case. It's worth mentioning that you press did show interest in this matter. The government is requesting that you investigate the crime scene for the murder. Okay. That's fine. What have we got social media-wise? Anyone say anything bad about me? Isn't it quite difficult to unjustly punish people? Okay, let's copy that ID and let's put fine fee fit to be charged to your bank. Fine lawsuit continues to conduce to serious financial losses for you. Alright, okay, report. Oh, hang on. You can see that the rating given the independent commission members below regarding the decision you made in your last stance in the case. Okay, they were quite happy with that case then. Alright, my following's going up. What can we post about now? Calmness is quite important in the case that will be heard today. Emphasize with the grieving parties in the case. Okay, calmness is important in today's case. I agree with that one. In this country, there are people eating from the garbage, and then there are celebrities and politicians making vacation plans after stealing from them. Oh, I don't have much to say on those fronts. Right. I haven't actually looked at any of this stuff. We can look at the news. Case to be heard in court today represents a turning point to whether the perpetrator of a murder will be held accountable. Economic conditions are getting tougher day by day. Okay, nothing too exciting going on there on the news front. Meeting. What does meeting do? Okay, so I can actually meet with these people. You cannot meet decisively because your relationship to the public is high. Okay, so if I feel like things are going wrong, I can try and fix my relationships. I get it. Okay. What about the Supreme Court? Okay, so at the moment I'm kind of light. So that's something. I'm going to leave it here for today. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you want more of this? If you do, please let me know. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like bell. Come join us in Discord. Follow me on my social medias. The channel is growing really nicely. So a big thank you to everybody that's enjoying the videos and commenting and all the other kind of stuff that you guys are doing. It means so much to me. We're literally going to probably hit 30,000 by the weekend in the way that we're going, which is huge. I gave myself a target of 35,000 this year. And, you know, we're nearly halfway through the year now and we're right on track. So that's awesome. So thank you all, and hopefully I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.